trip. It takes probably 5 or 6 hours just the trip on that road. And so anyway, and what we do, the clinic that we support is right about that area. It's called the Sandstone Clinic. It's just a little hole, a little place in the side of the road where the church is there, and then we built a medical clinic beside it, and the church is doing so good there. But anyway, the clinic's been closed for about 2 years now because of COVID. Once COVID hit, they shut it down, and it's been kind of hard to get it started back up, but they are going to have a grand reopening in February, and they've done some upgrades on it and everything. But anyway, so what we do now, I'm going to kind of explain the story. We come down here on the bus, we spend the night there in a motel, and then we get there I leave my house at 4 in the morning, and then I get there at 10 o'clock at night. So that's how long your day is. And then you sleep in a motel that's not very good. But anyway, and we go down here to there. We get on a bus. I'm shaking y'all. I don't do this for a living. So anyway, get on in a boat, and we go out in the ocean. Then we come up in this area right in there. And this is actually the Embera Indian Comarcas is what that's a nation, Indian nation. They have their own set of rules and everything. In 1983, the government let them have their own place. So anyway, that's where we go. And Panama Missions has committed to 5 years to go and just up in that little area. And there's a little place called Puerto India, is the main, might say capital, and of the place. It's about 500 to 600 people there. And then all the villages around there, they'll come down there and go to school and all that stuff. The kids in high school, they'll stay there all week, and then they'll go back to their villages during the weekends and stuff. So anyway, all right, so let me get started. I think it's the Centerfront Police. That's the Border Patrol. They come and pick us up at the airport. We used to have to rent our own bus and everything, but now they want to be a part of it. So they come and pick us up. We have to go through about 5 roadblocks on the way down there on that 150-mile trip. And used to, they'd stop and go through our luggage and get our passports. But now, man, they saluting the bus as we're going by and everything. So anyway, it's made it a lot better. This is the actual clinic that we support. And when I first, you say that's 2013, that's the church building right there. That's the actual clinic that we support. The church is doing so good, growing, and it's just a very good congregation. And this is when I first started going down there, it didn't have any windows, doors, no air conditioning. Now they got air conditioning, they got windows and doors. That's the preacher, that's Lewis. He graduated from the Baxter Institute down in Honduras, which is a great preaching school, and he's doing a great job there, super good worker. They always were there. They always had volleyball and stuff. The whole congregation, they're just out there playing, just having a good time. It's such a good congregation. This is Badillo and Mauricia. They come and help us at the Puerto India where we're going. He interprets for us and she cooks for us. So what we do, we hire as many members of the church to come do. Ones that can speak English, they will interpret for us. Some of them cook for us. We're just trying to help them out any way we can. This is Raul. I want to tell you about Raul. Raul, he used to work with us at the clinic, come and help us out in those villages around the clinic. And he's like, could y'all please come to our clinic and help us out? So Diane Edrington, who's the director of the medical mission, her and Larry Brady, y'all know Larry, they went to his village to see, and she actually cracked a vertebrae on the boat ride. It was such a rough ride that they had to fly her back out, but they were like, all right, we'll come and give it a try. We'll come to your village. Let me tell you about him. 3 years ago, he wouldn't even let me borrow his bicycle to go get some toilet paper in another village. And now he's an airline pilot. He's been to school. He's a commercial airline pilot. So he's come a long way. But anyway, this was last year before's medical team. This year it's about half that number because of COVID. And we were supposed to go on in February, and then they rearranged it to June. And so that's why we only had about half that number this time. But we have Peace Corps workers. They'll interpret for us. A lot of the government officials, they help us out. And all right. This guy right here, that's Mark Hodges. He's the preacher at Long Beach. He goes. That's Lewis, the preacher at Sansón. That's Dr. Francisco. Dr. Francisco is a preacher in Honduras, and he is also a doctor. While he was in medical school, he started studying the Word and wanted to be a preacher. So every Saturday he would study. And then once he got out of medical school, he decided he wanted to preach full time. So he went to the Baxter Institute and graduated from there. He is actually a preacher in Honduras, where he's at. Started off with 6 adults 2 years ago. They got over 100 members now. He's just, he's a doctor, and he just loves preaching the gospel. This is what it looks like. There's the Centerfont bus dropping us off at the port. All that's full of medicines and everything, all the suitcases. We bring them from America. All the people that around here, that are, all y'all that help with medicine and everything, we pack them all up in suitcases, bring them through the airport. Actually, the drug dog sniffed on them. We had 2 of our folks had to stay back there for an hour. They was going through all that stuff. And so anyway, you never know what's going to happen. But anyway, we're getting ready to get on the port, and hopefully this will load up. I don't know. We're finding that this didn't work the way it's supposed to. I can kind of show you what the port looks like, what it's like being around there. I hope it works. If it don't, I'm going to go. I don't know if we have any sound or not. But anyway, what you'll see is all these boats are coming in. They have to leave their village 4 o'clock in the morning. You got to go when the tide's up. They come in, they're leaving. People are coming in from the villages, and then you have to jump in the boat, and you need to leave back out before the tide goes back out. So you see people, it's just like this all for a couple hours there. You have to get there, and people just loading up, and I wish you could hear the sound, but I guess we're not going to be able to have sound. I just kind of want to show y'all where we go from there. All right. Now you're supposed to move the slide back over. We're trying to figure that out. We'll get it. All right. All right, this I want to show y'all. We used to have to rent our own boats and everything. This is Udian. Her dad's a preacher in David, Panama, which is on the other side of Panama. She comes and interprets for us. She's really the one that kind of corresponds a lot of stuff, since she speaks good English and everything. That's in Elise. She's a member of the church at Sansone, speaks good English. She came to America and studied English. This is Bricia, a member of the church at Sansone. There's Jennifer and Bridget Martin. I don't think she's here tonight, but she went with us the first time. And the rest of those are nurses from Long Beach Church. So I just kind of wanted to show y'all what we used to look like when we used to load up. Now, the Centerfont police, they come in these big boats. They pick us up. They got 200 horsepower Suzuki's on the back, and y'all see their AR-15s and everything. This is how we go now. They come, they throw us in the boat, and we go. But they get a little area. Look, we're out in the Pacific Ocean on the way, and they stop a load of boats trying to see if there's any illegal immigrants on there. And I'm like, man, we're trying to get to help some folks, and here y'all wanting to stir up some stuff. But anyway, I just thought that was interesting. Then we come up into this river system, and then we get to the village. I hope this will work. Kind of show. This is a 2.5 hour to 3 hour boat ride to get to right here. And the sound, you can hear the people kind of hollering at us and everything. They're kind of glad we came. This ship right here comes from Panama City once a month with all the supplies for the month, and the people, they unload it. And so you see boats, just everything, people everywhere, hooping and hollering, if you could hear the video. I need to figure out how to not have radio silence, but anyway. So you kind of see what it's like pulling up into the village. And this is going to be Sambu. Sambu is actually right next to Porto, India. And this is us at Sambu when we first get there. Sambu is a village that any of us could live in. And it's right next door to Porto, India, which is this. All that separates is this little bridge. That takes you into the Indian nation. So only the Embera Indians, even if you was to marry an Embera Indian, you can't live over there. So anyway, that's all that separates us. So this is where we stay. That's a government building. This is in Porto, India. The women stay in there and the men stay in there. And you have to go across the street to take a shower. And a shower, it's always cold and just a little bitty stream of water. So, that's something kind of hard to get used to. But the medical team, this is why I finally, since we didn't have many people to help with the MacGyver, I'll tell you about that projects, I got me a little white shirt that says medical on there. That'll probably be the only time I ever get something like that, but anyway. All right. So anyway, the governor, he met us there and had a talk, and the officials, they welcomed us and stuff. This is our sign. It says Panama Missions, Church of Christ, God loves you, and so do we. We have that there to let them know that's part of. This is a slide right here. Shows what it's like. You know, one of the, it's just loud. You just see how many people's there. This was the first, this is in Porto, India. We did 404 patients that day. And so you see it's just crazy. You see all the suitcases there with all the medicines and everything. And I'll tell you about this. We'll have a medical person. It's going to either be a doctor, nurse practitioner, or nurse. Then you're going to have an interpreter. Then you're going to have what they call a runner. That's what I was this time. So I'm there at the table just listening and stuff. And, you know, if they say, hey, you need to go get some antibiotics, mix up some of this, you know, you run and do that while they're talking and everything. So this is my first year to kind of be, you know, that part of it. All right, this is Dr. Francisco. This is a typical family there. You're going to have the wife and, you know, anywhere from 3 to 5 kids, and you're always going to have the grandmother, the whole family unit, do little minor surgeries. This lady had a thorn way up in her foot, and they were working on it. You're going to have to, you know, you got to use flashlights. You can't see. It's just hard to see. What they started doing after this one, it took like 3 or 4 of the doctors and nurse practitioners to try to work on this lady. And so they started doing every night. Then when we get in from working all day, there'd be people waiting at the porch for us to do some kind of surgeries and stuff. So anyway, that's kind of how that goes. This is going to be another village we're doing, just kind of showing you. Do we need to turn the lights off, or is it all right? Can y'all see okay? All right. Just to kind of give you an idea of what it's like. It's real loud and everything. You hear chickens and dogs barking and people laughing, kids having a good time. And just kind of just showing a few little things, what it's like there. All right. This is a lady. I just took a few pictures of the table I worked. First of all, that's Mitzi. Mitzi is the lady that I'd worked with. She's a nurse practitioner. She's actually an Iraq and Afghanistan veteran. So she, you know, I told them after watching her work, if anything happens to me, I want her, because she can make a decision. She's an emergency room practitioner, so she can make a decision quick. And she's all about, you know, I remember church, she just started coming with some more people. But anyway, this is her 3rd year. But anyway, like this lady walked 2.5 hours from another village just to get some medical supplies. This lady, they asked her how much the baby weighed, and she was like, I don't know. I had the baby 8 days ago just at the house by myself, so I hadn't weighed it yet. So that's just how it is there. You know, they're so far away from everything. This lady, that's Diane Edgerton I was talking about. She's the medical director. She is just all about this place. She is just loves this place so much. But anyway, this lady came to our table, and she was blind, and she was setting her up for cataract surgery. The cataract team comes in, part of Panama Mission. They come in from Colorado, and they do cataract surgeries and stuff. So she's getting her set up for that. This is Brian Casey's the elder at church at Long Beach. And, you know, we give out, you know, try to keep the kids entertained, balloons, candy, and everything. And also, this is Tito. He's a member of the church from Panama City. He interprets for us. We do eyeglasses. Giving out eyeglasses to the people who want them. That's Mark Hodges, the preacher at Long Beach at another village, working the eyeglass table. Another thing, some of the villages are real hard to get to, so we had to go in these little canoes. This is actually a businessman from Sambu, and he's like, I can't believe y'all come to help our people like this. And so he said, I'm going to furnish y'all boats. Instead of us having to rent them, he furnished the boats, the canoes, for us to go up to the next village. And you can see that's how, they're just dug out canoes, but they do have like 15 horsepower Suzuki's. That's what they like. But anyway, and you see stuff like that lady washing dishes there. And, you know, anyway, I just thought that was good that people were like, man, y'all are doing some good. We'll help y'all any way we can. If we're not in the boats, that's how we pack in like cows, just about going from villages. There's no paved roads. It's always dusty and everything. But anyway, MacGyver team. How do we even get the name? Because somebody just threw that out there because you got to make do with what you got. So anyway, this is this is me, that's Anthony, he's from Long Beach. This is Josh James's first cousin right there. And that's the guy from Middleton, Tennessee, and then Corey Wilburn. That's Josh James's first. Anyway, so we do projects that they give us. Of course, we have people, y'all see the guys that kind of protect us while we're in the villages and stuff. All right, so the first thing we did, we went to the church there in Porto, India. And I want y'all to look at the preacher there. He's a real good fella. And first thing we did, we painted the inside of the church building. That was our first project. And when you go to painting, of course, kids are going to come all around and help you out. And of course, they had paint all over them. That's another shot of the church building from a distance. That's the sign to the church. The next year, we painted the outside, and you see it looks good there, the coat of paint on the bottom. And of course, that's the kids again coming and helping us. And that's just another shot of the church. So we were real proud of that. Now, this next slide, they had a big flood there. Termites, I could tell when we was painting the inside, the termites were pretty bad. Of course, they don't use any poison. There's nothing like that. So anyway, that's what they did. They had to redo the whole side of the church right here on both sides, just tear it out and put brick up. So anyway, all right. The first year we were there, the church, they were kind of cautious of us. They didn't know. But we started doing the things we did and helping them paint the church building, taking them food. We'll show you all the food stuff in a minute. The next year, they wanted to be a part of it. And look, they had an area-wide gospel meeting. Dr. Francisco preached. Here he was doctoring all day, and then he got to preach at night. That was just, we were making some progress, doing real good. It was impressive. The people really were taking things were going good, All right, what I want to tell you, though, is that member of the church right there, big prominent member of the church, that's the preacher. COVID hit. I want to show you that member of the church that I showed you, he passed away. I meant to show you another member of the church that's running the slideshow during the gospel meeting. He passed away. And then this is the preacher now. So he got COVID. He's in bad shape. He can't preach anymore. So the church has really taken a bad hit, the leadership. And so anyway, what we found out is they're just meeting, singing, praying, don't have anybody to teach or preach. So that's kind of the shape they're in right now because COVID hit him. But he's a good man. He's in another village. He come up and found me and hugged me and everything. But anyway, so I want to tell you all about the church there. They had about 25 meeting there. They have about 35 or 40 that come, but about 25 actual members. So now they're down pretty low. We don't know about the leadership, what's going to happen there. Another project is a member of the church. We repaired those steps there. Another part we replaced. Let me tell you all about trying to do stuff there. The boards there, everything's cut with a chainsaw. There'll be 10 inches on one end, 9 inches on the other, nothing square. We have to, when you're nailing a nail, you have to drill a pilot hole. You have to dip it in oil. The only oil you can find is 2-cycle oil because they don't have any other stuff much around there. And you have to hammer it in like that. So it takes us all day just to build that right there. Which I was proud of. Thought looked good, but it's so hard to come by stuff. Had to borrow a skill saw from another village, and the blade was so dull, it's just smoking. Everything's just like that. So that's why they call it the MacGyver team. You just kind of get by, and anyway. Let me tell you about this real quick. So another project, they said, all right, we're going to go paint the school. And we're like, all right. They're like, everything's there. So we ride in a boat for about an hour. Then we walk about a mile into the jungle. And they got these schools built in every village. I guess the government did it for them several years, probably in '83, back in that time. Anyway, so we get there and look, they got the paint, but they don't have any rollers, no brushes, no nothing. So we just scraped the building. That's all we knew to do. And so that's kind of how it is there. You just all think, all right, we're going to paint today, and then you get there and you can't do half the stuff. But anyway, you make do with what you got. And all right, here's another project. So this is another village. They was like, all right, we're going to dig this lady a latrine, So it was a 3x3 square, 7 foot deep. So here we are working all day, and we're getting down, and I'll never forget. So I'm about that deep, and you're having to buck it out by that deep. You can't hardly move, So anyway, let me tell you this. So getting tired. Well, this lady, she comes up there. She brings us this, see that juice right there? It's some kind of juice that comes out of the jungle. I don't know what it is. but you can work harder after you drink some of it. I'll put it that. So anyway, so after we drank all that, you know, we're working, and here comes Riley. It's like, oh, time to go. And we're like, do what? Man, we don't have but a foot left, man, you know, because you've been digging all the time. He goes, no, get up, let's go. I said, oh, the medical team ready? He goes, yeah. So I climb up out of the hole, and we go down to where the medical team is. They're still all working and stuff, and so I thought, well, I thought it was time to go. So we're sitting there, we're just talking and everything. So about 30 or 45 minutes, I was like, Raul, I thought you said it's time to go. He goes, no. In Panama, when the sun gets up, the sun on your back, we take a break. And I'm like, oh, man. So, you know, so we didn't even finish the hole, you know what I'm saying? Because by the time we got ready, you know, they're ready to go. So that's just how they do, you know, just like, you know. Anyway, so I just kind of want to tell you about that. Food delivery. The best thing going, and this all called to Beverly, I'm going to tell Beverly, she started this several years ago where she started making it where, you know, we'd buy a bunch of groceries for the members of the church and take them to them. You know, they're so poor, so just trying to help them out any way we can. So now she arranges it through Raul, and Raul's got an uncle there that can get all that stuff in from Panama City. And we fix grocery bags, we take them to the members of the church, and then after we get those all delivered, whatever's left, we take them to the poorest, you know, they decide who really needs it. So I just kind of want to show you, that's our favorite thing. You can see how we load up wheelbarrows. That's how we transport it around. This was like 2 years ago. And so this is kind of how the people live. You get to go up in their houses. Some of them live way back in the village. Some of them, they make a lot of coffee there. You come out through that village and you come up on a guy that's, you know, got coffee laid out. That's Jennifer, you know, giving food to one of the ladies. This man right here, I got that because Bridget, I saw her back there, little kids coming up to you and hugging you and everything. This lady right here, she lost a leg, a snake bit her, so they had to cut her leg off. You know, they just don't have the medical supplies and stuff, you know. This is just, you kind of see how they live. They just sit on the floor and stuff, a lot of them. This is a member of the church. This is the preacher again. Y'all remember what he looked like after COVID. But anyway, this was like the year before. That little boy is Alexander. He's a member of the church, helps us. That's his grandmother. Just kind of wanted to run it through. And I had a bunch of good stories and stuff, but, you know, just kind of wanted to show y'all. And y'all see how the Cinefont, now they want to be a part of us. They're going around everywhere we go now, you know. Now, this year, I didn't have any help to deliver bags hardly, so this was the government workers. They came and helped me push the wheelbarrows around this village and stuff. And you go up there, and Rilo says, you know, this is from the Churches of Christ. We just, you know, want to help you out a little bit, and we just, you know, and that's impressive to these people. You know what I'm saying? I mean, to me, that's the best thing going. Another thing real quick. So we load down the wheelbarrows, and this is how they are. He's like, I ain't lying. I probably walked 10 or 12 miles pushing that wheelbarrow around. He's like, all right, we're going to go over here. And I said, all right, do we want to go there first? He goes, yeah, we go there. I'm like, all right. So, look, I'll push the wheelbarrow full of stuff all the way to the end of the village and then deliver on the way back. And I'm like, let's deliver it on the way so it ain't so heavy on the way back. You know? That's just the kind of stuff I'm just like, you know, that aggravates me. I need to learn patience, and I'm learning it too. So, anyway. Dr. Francisco goes with us, and that you know, they last a little while, but then I end up having to push it the rest of the way. But anyway, that's good. You see the doctor and the gospel preacher, I mean, that helps, you know. This lady right here, that's Brian. I tell you, he's an elder at Long Beach. This lady right here, both of them are members. He's a member. But anyway, she had cataract surgery. She was so happy, you know, just talking about how she could see again. Do y'all see that lady? She had elephantitis. I don't know if you ever heard of that. They were, you know, y'all can see kind of just sad. Now, let me tell you about this. So after we delivered all the members we knew, then we had leftovers, so we're going to other villages and give it to people that are needy people. And we come to this house right here. This is a special need. I don't know what happened. And so Riley's like, this is a village like 10 miles away called Bayamon. He's like, look, he said, these are from the Church of Christ. And, you know, and they're like, we're members of the Church of Christ. And they're like, what? Yeah, so he said it's about 20 of them meet in that village. Nobody even knew that, you know, that they were members of the church. So anyway, they was like, they were converted about the time whenever the Porto India church was started by the same guy. So anyway, it was very, we wouldn't even own that if we wasn't delivering groceries. But they meet in this lady right here's house. She said it's about 20 of them that meet. Most of them from the same family, but now we know that. That's something we didn't know. They did say, man, if we could have some Spanish songbooks. Just wanted to give you a quick thing of things we'll see in the village. Here's a slideshow. This is, if you can hear the kids, look, you go down to the river anytime and see all the kids just playing and lady washing dishes, and you got kids. You see how the water's low? Every day the tide goes down like that, so the water's real shallow. Kids are playing. It's like that every day, you know. Do y'all see that? Like you'll see this pig tied up under somebody's porch. You got a rope tied around his leg. Iguana, they'll catch them, eat them for supper. Monkeys, kids got monkeys. That's Belinda. Belinda comes here a lot. Well, Ole Miss is playing. Her and her husband, big Ole Miss fans. They're from Long Beach. Y'all see them sometimes. Y'all ask her about the monkey. Look, I thought y'all like that. A bunch of hound dogs, they were going hunting. They were passing by. Like, man, they wild hog hunt, deer hunt, and rabbit hunt. That's mainly, it's all hound dogs, big old hound dogs. Y'all see that monkey right there, that little girl just had it on the back. That boy had one on his head. And that's a school teacher. She keeps a monkey, I guess, for a class to kind of play with and stuff. But anyway, I thought that was interesting. Look, y'all see that? Stocks. They will actually put kids, they say it's mostly the parents if a teenager's acting up. 4 hours is the longest that they can put them in there, though. That's kind of the law. But they do use it. I saw one guy in it in my 3 years, but I didn't take a picture. I kind of felt sorry for him, but he was sitting there at the police station in there. So he's a young guy, probably about 15. So anyway, we could probably use that in America, what do you think? But anyway, that's just a, shot from the village. I'm just showing some stuff. You'll see kids with horses, riding horses, playing, watering their horse. Just showing you the tide goes down, the boats are all stuck. Just kids. All right, right quick. Diane Edgerton, the lady I was telling you about, she's building she bought a lot in Sambu, the village right next to she's building a mission house. She said, she wants to have some running water, wants to be able to take a hot shower, and she is supposed to sleep about 20. She's just like, look, we're going to help these folks out. And so, sometime y'all might want to go. We can go down there if you don't want to rough it. Maybe we won't have to rough it too much longer. But anyway, Embera Peru, I'll tell you this real quick. Embera Peru is a village so we go back to Panama City. After we stay there a week, then we go back to Panama City. There's another village we go to called Embera Peru. In 2012, David and Lisa Carter, missionaries, converted about 15 or 20 of this village. And so we try to go up there and visit with them, and we spent the night with them. They fed us and everything. I'm going to show you the slideshow. This is on the way to Embera Peru. Just kind of show you, I wish you could hear the motor and everything. You can tell it's real beautiful going the way up there. So in 2012, a lot of them, and I'm going to show you in just a minute the church building that they had built here in just a little bit. Just kind of want to show you. Everywhere we go, it's the rainforest. You know what I'm saying? The villages, kind of around there, they keep it cut down. But this is the real deal. No electricity or anything. This is their church building they built. They're so proud of it. They built it about 2 years ago, and the community used it. They let them use it. They have meetings and stuff. They have a lot of people visit, come to the church services and everything. This is their sign. It says, "Welcome to the Church of Christ." This is the preacher, Nelson, and his wife, Sarah, and they got 3 kids. Nelson, let me tell you all this. He asked me, he goes, "What's your phone number?" I'm like, "What?" He goes, "You got WhatsApp?" And I'm like, "I think that's what it's called." And I'm like, "I still got a flip phone." And he's like, So anyway, I didn't know. So I gave him he wanted to give me his phone number, but I gave him mine. So anyway, about a week after I'm back, I get a call, and I don't recognize the number. I didn't know if somebody wants to sell me a warranty on my pickup or something like that, So I answered. I didn't say a word, and then I hear chickens, and I hear babies crying, and he's like, "Brother Robbie?" And I'm like, "Oh, Nelson." And he goes, yeah. So anyway, he's called me twice already, but he's very excited about things. And I'll ask him, does that guy remember the church? He goes, not yet. That's what he always told me, not yet. So he's very excited, doing a good job. We just spent the night there. Look, so we were going. This was Sunday afternoon. We got there, kind of swam around the river. So anyway, we supposed to have church service at 5 o'clock. So about 4 o'clock, canoes start pulling up, 3 or 4 canoes. People come walking, wading across the river. Women start washing their clothes, see the fish. They start getting fish out of the boat, start cleaning fish. By the way, man, if you want your wife to get a little tune-up, you might want to send her down there. But anyway, that's supposed to be a joke. Y'all might not thought that was funny. But kids playing in the river. And so anyway, look. And then the women were cooking. They cooked us a big meal, tilapia, and I forgot what all, but it was good. And look, we started worship at 7 o'clock at night. You know, it was supposed to start at 5, but here it was 7. They don't have any electricity. They put one little light that's probably solar light that lasted. It didn't last very long. But anyway, last I counted, it was 75, but then it got too dark. I don't know how many more people were there. But anyway, we had a good little worship service. And we spent the night in there on that hard floor. You know, I got a air mattress, but mine leaked, and in 15 minutes I was on the solid floor, but that's all right. You know, we had a good time. I took 2 Benadryl because I was thinking I might not sleep good, but yeah, I slept pretty good. But anyway, this is the preacher's house. He was so proud of it. He's had it for 4 months. He said, man, I want to show you my house. So anyway, this is Reuben. Reuben is the chief of the village. He became a member of the church back in 2012 too, and he knows all about the plants. He gave us a tour of the plants and everything. And actually, he goes with us to the place to. He helps interpret and stuff like that. Super good guy. Tell y'all this quick story right here. This is Layla. We're riding when we're going to from Panama City to down to the. We stop on the side of the road. It's dark, and this girl gets on. I'm supposed to be with y'all. She gets on the bus, and none of us really know what's going on. So anyway, what it was she is actually a junior at Harvard. She grew up in Hong Kong, but she's an American citizen, and she's studying environmental engineering, and she just gets on the internet and finds a place to maybe work to help her resume and stuff. And she finds out about this nonprofit called Salina Water that's putting water tanks in and filter systems in these villages and stuff. And so anyway, she put in for that. And she had been in Panama about a week, and Diane Edgerton was there early, and she kind of ran into her on her project, and she was like, yeah, come and interpret for her. She was like, all right, I will. So anyway, so here's a girl that doesn't have any kind of religious background mostly at all, and, you know, she spends a week with us and just seeing kind of, you know, you don't never know how you're influencing people. But anyway, she's a super good kid, and anyway, we really enjoyed her. And this is the village still, and this is how they make their money. Tourism. They make those baskets, carvings. They pan for gold. They fish. That's pretty much everything that they do to try and make some money. And they've been shut down for COVID for 2 years, and so they're having a hard time. All right, what I want to do is they're going to start showing the Christmas Joy tape. We're going to leave the sound off. I'm really wanting to know if y'all have any questions. See if y'all might have something y'all might want to ask me about. Why the Christmas Joy, they're supposed to start it running. It'll take a minute. But anyway, if y'all got any questions or like to know anything about, I can tell you about what it costs. Plane ticket's going to cost you, depends on $500 to $700 used, and maybe sometimes a little more, just depends on, and then we all pitch in. I forgot how much it is, about $600 or $700, I forgot. But we pay for the interpreters, we pay for any kind of expenses, motel, because we had to spend 2 extra days in Panama City just because of the COVID stuff, because they were supposed to test us, and then, you know, just stuff like that. So anyway, but I will say this: we go to Panama City after we've been down in the jungle for a week. We go to a good motel now, and you know, it's nice. You get your first hot shower, and you just really enjoy it. And I would say this: if you want to like help on donating any kind of medicine, Beverly is actually getting the medicine, the over-the-counter medicine. So you can see her if you want to make any donations or want to buy some medicine to help. Let me think. What else? Yeah, she sells pecan brittle, and that's how she does. That's where she gets her money for helping the food and all that. And I'm trying to think of anything else I might can say. Oh, look, the people, here's what they have. We give mostly parasite medicine. All of them have parasites, and all of them have backaches because they're toting kids or toting stuff up the riverbank, just all kind of stuff like that. A lot of ear infections, you know, because they're bathing in the river and all that stuff. A lot of diarrhea, I'm trying to think, kids, always allergies. Yeah, a lot of fungal cream, you know. That's the kind of stuff that we could use a lot of. I'm trying to think what else. Yep. Trying to think, this. Yeah.
What shots did you have to get?
I had to take the hepatitis, I think A and B, is that right, Beverly? And I always had to take parasite medicine when I come back. You know, the nurses, they have a fit when they find out you drank that juice or you ate that chicken soup with heads in it and chicken feet and all that stuff in it, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, hepatitis A and B, you probably ought to get a tetanus shot. I think all required, isn't that right, Beverly, I think? I will say this, if you give blood, they won't let you give blood anymore for a whole year if you've been down there. It's kind of one of those zones where malaria or something, so I learned that when the first year I got back. They were like, have you been out of the country? Yeah, I've been out of the country. You know, because I always try to give blood, you know. And they was like, where you been? I said, Panama, and they flip over, and they got that red area right down there where you're at. And they're like, well, you can't give there. So I just want to throw that out to you in case you're thinking about it. Malaria medicine, yeah. That's doxycycline, I think, is that right? Yeah, take some malaria medicine. Christmas joy boxes are due when, Beverly? October the 1st. I know Beverly, I think Sandra, have you been on a Christmas joy before? I don't know. I know Jennifer has. It's just this is a member of the church there. They kind of go out of Sambu Clinic. Let me think what else. Anybody think anything else they might? Look, this is about the only Christmas. This is the only Christmas a lot of these kids get. It's this right here. And I tell you, we have a good name in Panama through there. We really do. It's just, you know, all we're trying to do is help give them a little happiness, a little relief, a little medicine relief. That's the clinic there. Y'all think anything else maybe? Beverly, I'll cover something. You got anything you need to ask? Say. You know, I wish I could take every young people, you know, just 1 week, go down there and just see. I think it would open some eyes to how we really have it made here in America. You know, we're blessed. You know, the first year I came back, I'm gonna tell you the truth, I felt guilty. But we're not supposed to feel, we're blessed. We need to help any way we can. And that's what I learned. You know, you are who you are. You're here at this place and time. That's what the Bible tells us. You're here for a reason. And this is, you know, you're in America. You're blessed. And, you know, we just need to help how we can, you know. Even if you can just pray for them, that'd be great too. All right. We'll let that roll while we're getting through class then. While the kids are about to come in, unless y'all have anything else. I appreciate y'all letting me say something. I hope I didn't ramble too much. Had to kind of throw it together, but anyway, thank y'all.
Well, good evening. It's great to see each one of you this evening. And before we go into our devotional tonight, we will have some announcements. Services for Miss Ernestine Owen will be here tomorrow. Visitation begins at 12, and the funeral is at 2. Charles McMahon is having surgery on his finger tomorrow in Oxford. He was bitten by a spider. Catherine Mitchell, this is Kathy Bates' mother, house sustained a lot of damage from a fire on Tuesday, yesterday. So Allison Netterville will have 30 rounds of radiation to try to treat her tumor, and it begins next Wednesday. So let's keep her in our prayers. She will be able to do this in Oxford. If you're planning to come to the Teens versus Retirees dinner and game night Saturday, please sign the list in the foyer. Begins at 5 p.m. If you can help with security during at Michael's Week at camp, sign the list in the foyer or see Pete Brummett. And if you bring in diapers or wipes for Brett and Hillary Lott's new baby girl, there's a box in the foyer to take care of that. Johnny will lead us as we sing tonight. Mark will bring us our devotional thought, and Ricky Thomas will have our closing prayer.
Number 626, we'll start tonight. Christ for the world we sing, the world to Christ we bring, with loving zeal, the poor and them that mourn, the faint and overborne, sin sick and sorrow worn, whom Christ doth heal. Christ for the world we sing, the world to Christ we bring, with fervent prayer, the wayward and the lost, by ceaseless passions tossed, redeemed at countless cost from dark despair. Christ for the world we sing, the world to Christ we bring, with one accord, with us the work to share, with us reproach to dare, with us the cross to bear, for Christ our Lord. Mark Shires.
I'd like to invite your attention for a few moments to 1 John chapter 4. It's kind of piggyback off of what Robbie presented to us. What he was actually presenting, and we've gone to Honduras for years with the Starkville congregation and worked with Baxter. Actually stayed on Baxter's campus that he mentioned. They turn out a lot of good preachers there, sound preachers. And those people, they love. We actually didn't find the apprehension there in Honduras. Those people act like they've known you all their life, and if you really want to get hugged, go to Honduras. You'll get hugged. Those people, they love. They act like they've known you all their life, and just will say, "Hermano, brother," you know. But that's a good work. But why do we do these things? Why do we go out and do mission work? Go do these service projects? I hope that they're happening here. If not, we're going to get some going. But there's a reason that these things go on. And it kind of it goes right along with Jesus' last conversation he had. Goes from about John 13 all the way to verse 17. It really ends with the prayer, what I call the prayer for unity, there right before he's betrayed in the garden. He tells them, I've got a commandment for you, and I want you to love. And this is my Shire's paraphrase Bible. But it says, I want you to love, and I want you to love like I have loved. And then he goes on to say, how will they know that you belong to me? Or how will they know that you are following me? By how you love one another. I've already felt the love here at Batesville. And let's keep that going. But let's continue to grow. In Thessalonica, he said, I don't even need to talk to you about love in 1 Thessalonians 4. But he said, keep growing in it. So let's keep growing in our love here at Batesville. But we're motivated really by the Father to love. We find in 1 John 4, 7 and 8, it says, Beloved, let us love one another, for love is of God, and everyone who loves is born of God and knows God. He who does not love does not know God, for God is love. God not only loves, but he is the embodiment. He is love. He is love. And he has demonstrated, you look at verses 9 through 11, he has demonstrated his love very clearly in the giving of the best of heaven. Look at 9 through 11. In this, the love of God was manifested toward us, that God has sent his only begotten Son into the world that we might live through him. In this is love, not that we love God, but that he loved us and sent his Son to be the propitiation for our sins. That word propitiation took me a long time to learn how to pronounce that, being an old country boy. But it means the appeasement of, or payment for. What it is, it appeases God's wrath. The sacrifice of his Son appeased the wrath of God so that we would not have to experience that. In verse 11, here he is with that term again, beloved, much like Paul, as we talked about Sunday morning. If God so loved us, we also ought to love one another. You know, we show more than anything Jesus Christ by how we love. So I want to charge us as we go out and finish out this week, let us show Jesus by how we love. And then I want you to look in verses 17 through 19. It says, love has been perfected among us in this, that we may have boldness in the day of judgment, because as he is, so are we in this world. There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear, because fear involves torment. But he who fears has not been made perfect in love. I'm going to stop right there. You know, I know I was, when I first obeyed the gospel, I was scared to death about going to hell. I was motivated by fear, and that's okay initially. But we've got to grow out of that and grow into where love is the motivation for what we do. Jesus said this, and John recorded it in John 14:15, if you love me, keep my commandments. So everything we do, we should grow to the point that love is the motivation for what we are doing. And then in verse 19, I've got the New King James. The King James and New King James say we love him. But actually the most ancient manuscripts just say we love because he first loved us. He is our motivation because God is love. We are to show that love to everybody we come in contact, even as hard as it is, our enemies. There's a song that's been rolling in my mind. I thought it was a new song, but it's really not. It's an old song that's been kind of revamped, but it's called And Can It Be? You might know the chorus, but I want to read a couple stanzas. It says, and can it be that I should gain an interest in the Savior's blood? Died he for me who caused his pain, for me who him to death pursued. Amazing love, how can it be that you, my God, should die for me? He left his Father's throne above, so free, so infinite. his grace, emptied himself of all but love, and bled for Adam's helpless race. 'Tis mercy all, immense and free, for oh my God, it found out me. And the chorus is this: amazing love, how can it be that you, my God, should die for me? God has shown the most amazing love to us. Let's be about showing that love to all we come in contact with. If you haven't responded to the love of God by obeying the gospel, we would love to take care of that for you tonight. Maybe you just need prayers to grow in your love, or maybe you're just struggling and need prayers and need to be shown love. Whatever it is, we're here for you tonight as together we stand and sing.
Hark the gentle voice of Jesus falleth tenderly upon your ear. Sweet his cry of love and pity calleth. Turn and listen, stay and hear. Ye that labor and are heavy laden, lean upon your dear Lord's breast. Ye that labor and are heavy laden, come and I will give you rest. Then his loving tender voice obeying, bear his yoke, his burden take. Find the yoke, his hand is on you laying, light and easy for his sake. Ye that labor and are heavy laden, lean upon your dear Lord's breast. Ye that labor and are heavy laden, come and I will give you rest.
And a pleasure to be here with all of you tonight. If you're visiting with us, please stick around for a moment so we can get to know you a little better. Come back and see us. We'll be here Sunday morning at 9:30 for class, 10:30